my friends and I, we went on a Euro trip in the summer of 2006, but it was July 11th, 2005 when we first started planning the trip. And we were at my friend Shauna's house, gathered around her kitchen table, enjoying our free samples from 7-Eleven's free Slurpee Day. And we were really proud of ourselves because we went to 3 different 7-Elevens, but in reality they were just like a bike ride away from each other, so it wasn't a big deal. But at first we planned it was going to be this huge, groundbreaking Euro trip. Like, we were going to go to all of our parents' and families' respective homelands. Like, we're going to Italy and Ireland and Poland, and fuck it, we're going to Russia, bitches, you know? But then college and like poor paying jobs and laziness and a really confusing map of the Euro led us to plan a miniature but just as equally cool trip. And our trip, it consisted of 3 nights in Paris, 4 nights in Amsterdam, and 4 nights in Berlin. A neat trip, but kind of pathetic compared to the World Showcase that we had originally planned. And in Berlin, we also split up one day, and half of us took a train to Prague, while the other half really wanted to see Auschwitz, yay! But again, we're retarded and didn't realize Auschwitz isn't in Germany. So they had to settle for Dachau in Munich instead. But, well, Amsterdam kicked our asses, you know, like when we were planning the trip, we were like, our eyes were bigger than our psychological well-being and sanities, you know, we're like, we're going to stay there at least 2 weeks, right, at least we're going to get wasted, right, but thankfully we only stayed 4 nights as opposed to 14, because by day 2, we were so broke and burnt out and unable to shower by ourselves, afraid of the shower drain we could have sworn was expanding on us. We went to Amsterdam having smoked a little pot before, and that was a bad decision, because, you know, all you have to eat there is like Dutch pancakes and stroopwafels, and you're so hungry from all the pot you're constantly smoking, and then you think it's a good idea to eat a hash brownie before touring Anne Frank's house. Yeah? It's not good. So we got an early flight out of Amsterdam because we didn't want to accidentally stumble into a coffee house or order hot chocolate hash, or, you know, go to the McDonald's next to our hostel for the bazillionth time. So we arrived in our final destination of Berlin earlier than we anticipated, and our room we booked at the A&O hostel wasn't ready yet. And apparently, like, no one else's room was ready yet either, because everyone was just hanging around, and there was only like a little spot on the floor and half a couch for the 6 of us girls to like unwind and find ourselves again. So as we're waiting there and going in and out of consciousness, we're noticing this strange man going back and forth in the lobby, and he was tall and like shaggy, greasy hair and a full mustache, and he was just smoking cigarette after cigarette after cigarette. And he'd be walking back and forth to the payphone, and then back to the bar, and then to the payphone, and then back to the bar. And he was definitely by himself, and he was definitely the oldest person in the group of travelers in the lobby. But the best thing about this guy was his ability to smoke cigarette after cigarette after cigarette, and he didn't let the giant stoma in his neck get in the way whatsoever. It was really nice. We loved this man, and by love, I mean we took secret pictures of him and hoped he was leaving soon. And then thankfully our room was ready, so we had to say goodbye to Stoma Man. It was very sad. But we get to our room, and our room was actually bigger than most of the hostel rooms we had, and we were excited because we were winding down on our final days, and we were growing anxious of small rooms, and we had all these souvenirs we wanted to put everywhere, like all of our stroopwafels and glass water pipes we bought. So we were happy. So we threw our stuff everywhere because we could, and we claimed our bunks, and then we were going to go get something to eat, and we just, you know, step outside. We're in Berlin. We don't know where we are. We don't know what buildings are near us, or, you know, what was blown up in World War I or World War II. So we just find a Pizza Hut down the street. I know, it's like almost 2 weeks in Europe, and we eat more American fast food than my 4 years in college. It was pathetic. But so we scarfed down pan pizzas and Coca-Colas, and we come back to the room where we were going to nap. And so we open the door, and then we stop immediately because we notice someone sleeping in one of our unclaimed bunks. And so we creep in, get a little closer, and we hear what seems to be snoring. However, when we creep in a little closer, it's not snoring we're hearing, it's the sound of a lifetime smoker trying to breathe in his stoma. And we're like, oh crap, it's the guy. So we quickly and quietly get out of the room, and we shut the door, and we're like, what the hell, like, what do we do? You know, six of us girls, and we get stuck with creepy, creepster old guy. And so we go to the lobby to complain, and we're like, how can you do this to us? You know, like, there's 6 girls under the age of 21 with silky skin and creamy thighs. this isn't going to end well. And there was nothing they could do. So we had to go back to our room, and so we go back in there, and we again creepily and quietly open the door, and he's still there sleeping and wheezing. And like, we went there with the intentions of napping. Like, how are we going to sleep knowing this guy was sleeping there too? So luckily the room was bigger, so we all shifted to one side of the room, and we all like squeezed together on one bunk bed, and we just laid there like laughing. We couldn't sleep, so we don't know what to do, so we just broke out the camera again and started recording the guy sleeping. And it was this really great. It was like Blair Witch meets Hostel meets The Office. So it was like this really awesome documentary we made. But as we wanted to get a close-up of the stoma, so we're zooming in on the camera, and just then, like, he shifted. He must have been having a nightmare about a world with no cigarettes or something. And he shifted, and then the sheet fell off the body, and there it was, like, the creepy, greasy, sleeping stoma man, naked, with his just as equally greasy member. So, thank you.